Hey everyone, it's Ashpreet, and today let's do an Agent 101 video where we start from scratch and build some basic agents. But before we get into it, what's an agent? In my view, an agent is a language model with memory, knowledge, and tools. So when a user sends a message, the agent is able to access its chat history with the user, or domain-specific information that's stored in a vector DB, or make a tool call to respond to the user. I think these tool piece is what really makes a language model an agent. By using tools, the agent's able to access real-time information by searching the web or querying an API like pulling financial data. Or it's able to interact with the real world by sending an email, running a database query, or sending a Slack message. So with memory, knowledge, and tools, a language model becomes an agent. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. All the code we're going to be using today is going to be in the PhiData repo. So Fork can clone that repository and open it up in the code editor of your choice. I've already cloned it locally. So once you have that repo set up, it's under Cookbook, Agents 101, and under the README file, you'll find step-by-step instructions all the way from setting up your environment. So once you have this repo set up, open up the Agents 101 README and then fire up your terminal. First thing which we're going to do is we're going to create our Python virtual environment so the dependencies which we install are isolated. So after we set up our environment, we'll see this little AIN pop up on the left. Export your OpenAI API key because we're going to be using GPT-4o for our agents today, and install the libraries like OpenAI, DuckDuckGo Search, SQL Alchemy, and PhiData, which we're going to be used to for building our agents. Next, let's talk through a few very basic, simple agents to really understand how we're building them. So the first part is an agent with just some simple tools. The web search agent is an agent that has access to the DuckDuckGo toolkit, so it can pull news and search DuckDuckGo for real-time information. So we create the agent by importing the agent class from PhiAgent. We give the agent a name, we give it a role, and then we give it a set of instructions, like always include sources in your answers. We also tell it to give us the answer in Markdown format, and then we add date time into the instructions so it knows so it's not like limited by the knowledge cutoff of its training data. And then finally, we're going to say show tool calls are true as well because we want to see what kind of tools it's running. So after we've done that, we'll run our web search agent and see what it does. So this web agent, we asked about, write a report on the US election. It'll do a new search and then give us a report about the US election. It's going to talk about some key issues, and it's going to summarize basically all the links it's going to get and give us a result with that. Great starting point for us. One thing which I want to showcase is that we have this setting called debug mode as true. So PhiData is a very transparent library. We don't do anything behind the scenes. You can run the web search agent, any agent with debug logs enabled, and you can see what's happening behind the scenes. We add the functions which are from the toolkit to the model. We create the system message, which is a combination of role and the instructions which we have. We can see exactly that the date time is added. And then we send a user message, then the assistant responds that, hey, run this tool call for me. We capture some metrics, which is my favorite piece of it. And then once the tool call comes in, we run that tool for the agent and then send all the information back. So we send the system message, user message, the assistant tool call, the tool call results, and then return the assistant's response in a neatly formatted manner. So let's go on to some other agents and see what's happening behind the scenes. Now next agent, which I really like, is the finance agent that can query the Yahoo Finance API to pull in financial information. So this agent, so the Yahoo Finance API and toolkit, it's again a free API. So we do run into rate limiting errors time to time. I'm not sure if it's going to work on this demo, so give it a try. The part which I really want to highlight is how we can tell, okay, use data tables to display data, and it follows that as well. So let's run the finance agent for us and see what it does. So we ran the finance agent and debug logs are enabled, and we see that it's first sending the system message. It's running the get analyst recommendations, capturing the metrics, and then giving us the result in a neatly formatted manner, which I absolutely love. And then it's going to give us a recommendation on what's happening based on the tool call result it ran. So That's like a very basic starting point for an agent. The next one agent which I want to talk about is the retrieval augmented generation agent. So normally what happens is in traditional RAG, we store information in a vector DB, and given the user's query, we'll turn it into an embedding and do a semantic search. But with a RAG agent, the agent, we give it a tool and we tell it that, okay, you have access to this knowledge base. You have a tool to search your knowledge base, search it for whatever you need to answer the question. Okay, now let's test it out. Uh, I want to kick this off first because it's going to take a minute to load the knowledge base. I'm going to show all the process step by step. So let's kick this off and then we're going to talk through what's happening behind the scenes. So with this RAG agent, the first thing which we're going to do is we're going to give this agent a knowledge base. This knowledge base is a PDF URL knowledge base. We can do a knowledge base with text documents, docx, web pages, regular PDF stored locally. But this is a PDF URL which reads a PDF from a URL and stores it in LanceDB and uses the vector search type to retrieve information at query time. When we give it a knowledge base, it automatically adds a tool to search knowledge base. And then we also give it a tool to read chat history if it needs to. And then we ask this question. So over here, we see that it created that knowledge base, added 14 documents. So if we open this up, it'll probably have 14 pages and each page became a document. Loaded up the knowledge base. Then when we asked the question, it searched the knowledge base for that particular thing. Now you can see it didn't search for how do I make it, just search for like this, the recipe for this item which we were asking. This is great because in case the user like writes a paragraph, we don't really want to be searching for that entire thing, and this ends up with better search results. It also gives the agent the ability to search for like 4 or 5 different things at the same time to answer the question. So that's a RAG agent to start with. Now let's do something a little more interesting. And we're going to put 2 of our agents and we're going to make an agent team with it so it can answer questions and it can kind of delegate tasks to an agent to answer questions. So we're going to also test out the agent UI with it. So open up this file, agent UI, and we'll see that we have the web agent and a finance agent. And then we're going to create an agent team. This agent team, let's give it the model as well. This agent team has has a team of web and finance agent, and then so that it can delegate tasks to either of these agents to answer questions. With these agents, we're also giving them storage, meaning these sessions which we're going to have with these agents, they're stored in a local SQLite DB. So this is a SQL agent storage which we're adding to all of the agents, which means the conversations which we're going to have with this agent, they're stored completely locally. Now, this is the interesting bit about the agent UI. All this data is being stored completely locally. Nothing is sent to Phidata or outside your machine. Okay, now let's give it a try. To use the agent UI, first we're going to authenticate with Phidata. So this is simply to tell Phidata that I'm going to serve this playground, this UI at locally, and this is my account. Help me connect to it. Phidata shows no information from your agents over there. Next, let's run the agent UI file, which creates a playground with these 3 agents and then serves them locally. Another thing which I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set debug mode as true because I kind of want to see all the logs happening behind the scenes. So let's run the agent UI and it's going to create the endpoint and then it's say, go to this URL and over here, it's going to connect to it and we'll be able to see that we can chat with the 3 of our agents to see what's happening. So let's first chat with the finance agent. With the finance agent, we'll ask, or just simple, what's the stock price for NVIDIA and Tesla? It's going to run, hopefully it's going to run 2 tool calls and give us the stock price as a table because that's what we've asked of it. Then next, I want to check the agent team. So I'm going to ask, again, the same question, what's the stock price of NVIDIA and Tesla? And in this case, what it's going to do, it's going to delegate the task to the finance agent and then give the result to us. So let's see what's happening behind the scenes. So we're seeing full debug logs that are happening here. Everything is stored locally. Nothing is with Phidata. And we'll see it's going to transfer the task to the finance agent and then give us the result as expected. The agent team does not have the instruction to show data and in tables, so it doesn't show that. So that's it, folks. This is a very basic introduction to agents where we created from scratch. We started our Python environment, we installed all the libraries, and we ran some very basic agents. We ran a RAG agent, a web search agent, a finance agent, and we created a team of agents that we served locally and we can chat with on the agent UI. Well, if you have any questions, please do let me know and hope you have a great day. Bye.